Welcome back everyone to a Wayward Champion Cobra Kai Season 6 Watch Party! The Sekai Taikai is coming and all indications show it will be a massive tournament. The best news from the set is they've been filming the tournament for like over a month, which implies this could last 3 or even 4 episodes. Talk about karate fighting on a scale we haven't seen before. Luckily, we have a few interesting videos of some of the cast in Barcelona, Spain. I already covered the basics of these in previous videos, but it's worth a further in-depth examination of what's going on. As you can see, there are several scenes of Sam, Miguel, and Robbie training hard for the tournament. Except there are some notable absences. That is, the winners of last year's All Valley tournament. It's almost crazy to imagine Champion Tory Nichols and Champion Hawk are nowhere to be seen. Their fighting skills are top tier and should place them front and center for the World Tournament. Except, obviously, they aren't there. Missing in action. What's going on? Tory is perhaps the most desired and deserving to shine on the world stage. However, she may be the most understandable for being absent. From the moment she arrived, she set herself apart. She was tough and a top fighter. It was clear she was a cut above. Miguel thought she was also good at, well, other things. Except Tory was troubled and angry. She continually burst onto the scene, ready to fight. It didn't always work out for her. Miguel had enough and ended it. Robbie thought she was crossing a line, but none of that stopped her determination. She pushed on and on. Eventually, she came into an understanding with Amanda. She got some therapy and some extra help with her mom. It made a difference. She was less stressed and less angry. She could focus better. It got her back in school and more competitive than ever. She could train harder and knew how to make a splash on the dance scene. Ooh, look at that. It all came to a head in the biggest karate tournament in the world, the All Valley Karate Championship. She fought and won and won. It was looking great. Eventually, it came down to the finals, where she scored a clean 3rd point on Sam and won the championship. It was the triumph of a lifetime. There was some confusion about a biased ref, but as Terry Silver made very clear, she is the All Valley champion and every bit deserving. Catapulted her status. She was famous now across the valley and ready to get internationally famous. She had some second thoughts. Her plans with Kreese to restore him as head of Cobra Kai fell flat. Nothing was working. She accepted an offer from Sam to help take down Terry Silver and Cobra Kai as it currently existed. She fought Kim Da-Eun and succeeded with that goal. Recent set photos for Season 6 showed Tory now at Miyagi-Do Dojo with the combined schools. She is there to train and continue on her karate journey. It was actually a big reveal, as she's never been to this dojo before. It is a sign that Season 6 is going to be different in ways you could have never imagined, right from the very beginning. Now, since we know the Sekai Taikai is the main thrust for the final season, you would expect Tory to be front of the line to compete. She's that tough fighter. That didn't change. Kreese knows that. She's fierce. Johnny knows that, and she found some balance in her life to focus. Even Daniel can see that. So when we get training footage in Barcelona for the Sekai Taikai and Tory is nowhere to be seen, fans will rightly ask and wonder why. She should be there, training with the rest. So what happened? Where is she? There are several potential possibilities that I think we should cover here. The first and perhaps most fun idea involves our favorite returning character, Sensei Julie Pierce. I've talked about Julie extensively and explained why she's coming back and how she can impact the Sekai Taikai. You want to see all those videos, but it is very likely Julie Pierce could have a connection with Tory. Not family-like, but an understanding. They have a sort of similar upbringing, losing parents and having a lot of anger. They both found outlets for that anger in karate. It makes sense that they have a lot to bond over. So perhaps Julie is training Tory one-on-one. It's not out in the streets and on the beach, or in a dojo and on the mat. Actually, maybe it's in a temple. I don't know if there's any Buddhist temples around Barcelona. I do know that Julie may want to share with Tory the same way she was taught. That means getting away from all the noise and craziness and focusing on personal training, not on Instagram or showing off for the crowd, but channeling her inner strength. I do think that is perhaps the best and most rewarding idea. While Miguel is often referred to as the new Karate Kid, that would make Tory the new next Karate Kid, which sounds weird, but is technically true. So even though we're focusing on Tory, it is important that Julie get this position too. From the beginning of the series, we've talked about how Daniel and Johnny are taking on the sensei roles. He was in the Mr. Miyagi role, so to speak. If they are bringing Julie back, it's important she take on that role as well. The story will feel too incomplete if she doesn't. That means the special one-on-one training, the way Johnny had with Miguel and Daniel had with Robbie, Julie can then have with Tory. There is another less happy reason for why Tory is not at the Sekai Taikai. That is her mother. Now, I've been predicting her mom will die for a while. I'm kind of all in on that matter. Fate can be a cruel witch, and it's very possible her mom dies shortly before they are to leave for the tournament. That would likely stop Tory from going. She has to plan services, she has to take care of her brother, she has to fight off her annoying aunt. She cannot take off for a karate tournament 6,000 miles away. She's stuck at home dealing with family issues instead of taking her one shot for international glory. Like I said, fate is a cruel witch, or at least the writing staff. From a writing standpoint, it feels like kicking Tory back down the moment she has a chance to rise up. But that is drama. Don't forget that. Kick your characters when they're down, throw rocks at them, all that stuff. Except if you are a Tory fan, it will feel like a gut punch. It's natural to root for your favorite character and want to see her win. You've been along for the ride since the beginning. To see that one moment stripped away again feels like there's no justice. But like I said, that is the point of writing. You, the audience, are going through the same emotional roller coaster the character does. In this case, you have strong emotional reaction to Tory missing out on the Sekai Taikai. You feel what she feels. That's actually good writing. That's what drama is all about. Although certainly that isn't much consolation when you feel down and in the dumps. I will say that even if Tory misses the tournament entirely, she is still likely to have a solid conclusion to her storyline. What that would be, I don't know. We have to wait and see. But that down moment leaves a lot of room for a major upswing later in the season. Likewise, Hawk is an undisputed All-Valley champion. He fought his way through the rounds and scored a clean hit on Robbie in sudden death overtime. What's even more amazing, he did it without the mohawk, as Hawk's hawk is clearly the source of his powers. Imagine how badass and amazing he'll be with it fully regrown and emanating its powers throughout. But more than just a badass look, Hawk's story also naturally leads him to the World Tournament. Hawk was weak, puny. He wasn't even Hawk, he was Eli. He attracted laughs and mocking from Sam's friends just by his appearance alone. He knew they were laughing at him. That weakness and lack of confidence encouraged tough guys, the ne'er-do-wells like Kyler and his friends, to pick on him and push him around. Life was hard. It took a series of events to change his trajectory. First, Miguel, his friend, had to beat Kyler in epic fashion. Bam! It was great. Second, it took a different kind of bully to motivate him to, well,
I'm flipping the script.
He had to change something in a big way. Take the focus off his face, his scarred lip. That he did. The Hawk was born. He realized when you take control of a situation, you can far better control its outcomes. He incorporated it more and more into his life. He even got the hot girl and tried to pass on that wisdom.
It's not just the haircut or the back tattoo. It's a way of life, man. You just gotta feel the energy and just live in the moment, you know?
Well, McConaughey or not, it definitely influenced him. He pushed more and more and ended up pushing too hard. He turned against his own friend and did things he knows he shouldn't have done. He lost a girlfriend over it all and dug in more and more until the most unlikely turn. He realized it wasn't worth fighting with those guys and switched sides in the most dramatic fashion. But life is never easy for the Hawk. He had to find a way to fit in at Miyagi-Do. Many weren't so accepting, but Hawk is more than a badass haircut. He has a brain as well, and completely designed the sparring deck. His genius alone, it brought the dojos together and healed the rift between Daniel and Johnny. Only the Hawk could do that. But that strength wasn't lasting forever. Robbie and some of the Cobra Kais had other plans for Hawk. They knew to defeat him, they had to remove the source of his power. So no sooner than he debuted Purple Hawk and was ready to get back with Moon, did he lose it all. It was the most heartbreaking thing in the series. But still, he soldiered on. He relied on his friends and found an alternate source of power. He was able to channel all of it into his karate and win the All Valley like the champion he is. But then his reign as champion has been a little rocky. Daniel shut down the dojo and Kenny scored a lucky hit with a biased ref for the Sekai Taikai qualifiers. That put him out of commission and made him look bad. I suppose looking bad isn't that big a deal, but fans wanted to see Hawk dominate, and he just didn't. Instead, he was nerfed. He was unable to truly embody the badass attitude we'd seen earlier seasons. We've come to expect it. What happened? He did good work in the finale, but even then, ugh. But ultimately, it comes back to the difficult question. With such an epic story, easily on par with Miguel and Robbie, why is he not training for the Sekai Taikai? We can imagine Tory is off with Julie, but Hawk would certainly be training with Daniel and Johnny. They're his senseis. As cool as someone else would be, I can't think of Hawk training with Barnes or even Chosen. It's also not even a matter of one boy and one girl, since both Miguel and Robbie are there. I suspect one of the reasons could be an injury. The way of the fist shows no mercy, and Kim Sun-young's school may want to cripple their competition with a bit of a preemptive strike against the reigning All-Valley champion. Since Hawk was chosen to fight in the qualifier, he is the one who Kim Da-Eun would consider the biggest threat. That is cruel and certainly sucks for Hawk and Hawk fans. After watching him get nerfed in Season 5, no one wants to see him take an injury and have to sit the tournament out. Except it is a very likely scenario, and not even unprecedented in the Karate Kid universe. While that wouldn't be the end of Hawk's story, it may be the end of his story for the Sekai Taikai. There's also a more straightforward explanation for Hawk's absence. In Season 5, Miguel and Robbie chose him to fight for the qualifiers. He was honored. Perhaps in the finals or whatever, there can only be 2 or maybe even only 1 male fighter. He could be returning the favor and taking himself out of the contention. He wants either Miguel or Robbie to take the mantle and fight. That is perhaps the most satisfying answer. Hawk willingly steps aside to return the favor that was shown to him last season. A dose of humility and confidence in his friends and fellow dojo members would be the perfect capstone to such an incredible roller coaster story. While I love Hawk and want to see him crush it, I would be very pleased with that sort of solution to the too many fighters paradox. Ultimately, Cobra Kai is a show with more beloved characters than first place champion positions. Not everyone can fight in the final match and win, so ultimately a lot of main characters will have to assume the side character position. From this early look, it appears Hawk and Tory may be 2 of those people. You may disagree, but remember, there are other fans who would feel exactly the same if Sam and Robbie weren't in these shots. Believe it or not, different people have different favorite characters. Yeah, I can't understand it either. That doesn't mean the story will suck or not be entirely satisfying. It's likely the tournament will have many rounds, so they could have great moments earlier in the competition as well. Not to mention, it sure looks like there will be a lot to come after the Sekai Taikai. I fully expect for the characters who can't fully shine at the tournament to get plenty of extra chances after. Everyone will get their moment, so don't write anything off. it's not over yet. Have a great day. I'll see you at the next watch party.